right, let's go ahead and start with 7.1, and that is tax tables, worksheets, and schedules. Our objectives for today, we're going to express tax schedules algebraically, and we're going to compute federal income taxes using a tax table and tax schedules. We've got a plethora here of vocabulary words that I hope you got when reading this section. If you have any questions, you can refer back to the book on that. So looking at example 1, it says Ron is single and he's using an IRS tax form. He calculates that his income is $51,482. The instructions tell him to use the tax table to determine his taxes. How much does Ron owe? So if we look over at this tax table, we'll see on the first section it says at least. So it's saying that he at least earns this amount in this column, but he earns less than the second column. So you'll see here that one of them is already circled. It says at least $51,450, but not more than $51,500. And we see that $51,482 falls in that window. Here he is single, so we're going to look at the single category, and it looks like he owes $9,213 in taxes. Please press pause, work through this, and when you're ready, press play. All right, it says if R represents Ron's taxable income, express his tax interval as an inequality using interval notation. So that is simply $51,450 less than, where X is in the middle, and then we have $51,500. So to read that, we would say here that the income is greater than $51,450, but it's less than $51,500. All right, example 2, it says Maria and Don are married taxpayers filing a joint return. Their combined taxable income is $153,900. The IRS offers a tax schedule so that taxpayers can calculate their tax. Use the tax schedule below for married taxpayers filing jointly to calculate their tax. So if we look at this, $153,000 falls right in this section here. It would fall somewhere in the middle of $131,450 and $200,300. So this is the calculation that we're going to use. It's $25,550 plus 28% of the amount over $131,450. So we're going to take $153,900 minus $131,450. Once we calculate that, we end up with, I'll write it in a little different color, $22,450 is what they are over. So when I multiply the $22,450 by 0.28, I end up with $6,286. When I add that to the $25,550, I see that we are going to have a total of $31,836 paid in taxes. Please press pause, solve this, and come back when you're ready. Okay, it says using the tax table above, what taxable income would yield a tax of exactly $89.62? So I'm going to go back to this previous page here. Let me kind of erase it out and clean it up. And if you look, right here is that $89.62, which means that this low amount here, if they earned exactly $65,100, they would pay $62,062. So the answer here is $65,100. All right, the IRS includes a tax schedule for information purposes only. For taxable incomes over $100,000, taxpayers must use the tax worksheet. Here is a portion of the worksheet for married taxpayers filing jointly. Calculate Maria and Don's tax using the worksheet. Now notice that this is the same couple from example 2. We're just looking at it through a little different eyes. So again, right here, it's the section that is $131,450 to $200,300. We're going to write the $153,900. Now where did I get that? I got that from example 2. We're going to multiply that by 0.28 and we get $43,092. And then it says to subtract $11,256, and I ended up exactly where I was in example 2 at $31,836. Go ahead and press pause. Solve this. When you're ready, come back. All right. So what I'm going to do, it says Davida and John have a taxable income of $118,675. Use the worksheet to determine the amounts in columns A and C. What is their calculated tax? So what I'm going to do is go back to the previous example to use that particular tax sheet. You actually have your own. It's on the next page over. So $118,000 falls in this first section, so it's $118,675. And it says to multiply that by 0.25, which gives me $29,668.75. Then it says to subtract $73,1250, and the total tax is $22,356.25. So just extending our understanding a little bit, last question. Chase has a taxable income of X dollars. This amount is over $100,000 but not over $131,450. Express his tax algebraically. So again, if we go back to our chart, we know that we're looking at the 25% and we're going to subtract the $73,1250. So to calculate this or to write this down, it would be 0.25 times whatever his taxable income minus $7,312.50. And that brings us to an end on this lesson. Good job.